So, if you are a small business owner, maybe you're a counsellor, a therapist, a coach, I work with a lot of those professions, or you might be a service provider. But basically, if you have ever said to yourself, I wonder, can I do SEO myself for my website? So, this video is for you to help you with that. And it's based on having worked with so many counselors, coaches, service providers, and often the first thing they say to me is, I want to rank number one on Google. And I think, great. Are you going to create content for your website? Because this is where a lot of people fall down. So they kind of hand it over to the web designer to do SEO for them. And there are basic things your web designer can do for you, but your web designer can't go on podcasts for you, or they can't write a blog every fortnight or create a podcast and upload it to your website. And I think that's one of the things people get really confused about with SEO. So what actually is involved? So I'm showing you this free tool, and I just want you to do exactly what I'm showing you in this video. So the first thing you're going to do, you're going to sign up for an account. So you're going to come down here, don't have an account, register here, and then you're going to fill in your details. I'm obviously going to pause that bit, and then you're going to log in. So now, there is a free and a paid version of this tool. And what I would say to you, this isn't a professional grade tool, but it's perfect for you as a small business owner. Okay. So we're just going to ignore all the suggestions and things, and we really just want to get to the bit we want to work with. So all these questions are for their, um, right, they're for their marketing. So just fill in anything at all, just so you can get to the bit that's actually useful. So really doesn't matter what you say. Okay, done. So now the bit we want to get to is over here. We want to do some keyword research. So we're going to scroll down, and I'm basically just going to explain how this works. Okay, so we're going to go to keyword ideas. And then I want you to think, what would someone type into Google if they were looking for the job you do? So if you're like, what is your job title? And sometimes people call themselves kind of a fancy thing because it sounds good, but actually, um, when people are typing into Google or into AI tools like ChatGPT, they're actually using um, very plain, simple words. So what do I mean by that? If they're looking for a counsellor, they're typing in counsellor in Dublin. They're not typing in, you know, chief happiness officer or something fancy like that. So no made up titles, just what you actually do. Um, and again, do you notice I said counsellor in Dublin? So a lot of the time people search by location. So I'm going to show you the difference between if we're just looking for a counsellor, or if we're getting a bit more specific and targeted and we're looking for a counsellor in Dublin. So we can set the language we're searching by and the location. So I'm going to start with counsellor, and then I'm going to hit search. So let's see, what's it bringing up? So counsellors Dublin, counsellors Cork. So like, what is it? What type of counsellor, for example, are you? Um, So the more specific you get, you'll get fewer people coming to the website, but they'll be the right people who are actually looking for the service you provide. Okay, so, and I'll explain what I mean by that. So don't worry about this intent thing here. I'll do another video about intent and explain all that. But what we want to do now is look at the search volume, the cost per click, the page difficulty, and the SEO difficulty. Now, the search volume, so it's the number of searches the keyword has had during a month. So if there's something that you're saying, I don't know what that means, just go up and click, hover over the little eye above it, and it'll tell you. So the cost per click, you can kind of ignore that because that's more for Google Ads and stuff like that. And then page difficulty, again, you can ignore that a bit. But search difficulty, so that's how hard is it to rank for that keyword. Um, and they use a traffic light system. So if something is green, it means it's easier to rank for. And then the search volume, so that's how many people a month are searching for that term. But I mean, if you're not running a counselling course, for example, then you don't want to try and rank for that keyword. So let's just say you are counsellor for anxiety. So we're trying to get more specific. So therapist for social anxiety. So that's really specific. It's specific to the type of anxiety they work with. So if someone comes to your website and they found you because they typed in to Google or to ChatGPT, look, I'm searching for a counsellor or therapist who can help me with my social anxiety, they are much more likely to be interested in reading your services page, finding out about your price, your working hours, because it's so specific. So there's 140 people a month searching for that. But the difficulty, so one is the easiest and 100 is the toughest, but basically it's green. So it's pretty easy to rank for that keyword. So let's see, so that's 140 people a month, and it's easy to rank for therapists for social anxiety. Now, let's go back and just put in counsellor and compare that. And this is a mistake I see people make a lot, so that's why I'm focusing on this. Okay, so for example, if we just went with counsellors Dublin, there's 1.6k searching, but it's hard. It's hard to rank for. Now, some of the other cities might be easier because there might be fewer counsellors in them. Um, and then some of the keywords it's hiding on the free plan. So you get 3 of these searches a day, I think it is, on the free plan. But what I want you to do is just think, okay, so what types of services or products do I have? And think, how can I make it a little bit more specific and narrow it down a bit? So just like in that example, we started really broad with just, okay, I want to rank for a counsellor. But actually, now that I think about it, therapist for social anxiety is much more specific to the work I'm doing. The people who who find me through that keyword and are searching for a therapist for social anxiety, they are much more likely to want to work with me, because a counsellor could work, with grief, with stress, There's so many things that a counsellor could help with. So that is the first video I'm making for you. And what I suggest is that you get a notebook, and I always say a notebook you're going to be able to find, or you create a Word document or Google Doc, basically something you can find again, and just jot down some keywords that you find related to what it is that you do. And over the course of this series of videos, I'll start showing you, what to do with these keywords, where do I put them, how do I use them. I'll answer those questions. And the other thing I would say to you, if you found this helpful, just hit the little bell, because that means that you will be notified when I make the next video. And as you could probably tell by me not always being in the little circle down there, these videos aren't going to be perfect, but they are going to be really helpful. And I really want to help you and your business get found by people who actually genuinely want to work with you. Take care.